Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Kissy. Thank you for being here. I would like to share some messages today with the collective. Before we do the reading, I'm going to be doing a karmic reading today. I was called to do that. But first I want to go over a couple of downloads I received. So the first message, I don't know what it actually fully means, but there was milk being gifted, as if you were gifting milk to a sister. It could be your actual sister, a friend, someone you consider your sister, right? But it's almost like it was a sign of having an overflow of abundance and being able to give back. You know how they say milk and honey? It's like a sign of abundance in some way. Could be nurturing. You could just be giving a lot of nurturing energy to a soul sister. There's also a message of overabundance of gifts. I had an image of having multiples of the same thing, whether that's clothing, like having being gifted like a gift box, but having a lot of them of the same kind. So having an overabundance of the same product or the same, it's like you were gifted, let's say, the same book. Five different people bought you the same book as a gift, and so now you have an overabundance of this. So you have it to share with others. It's like your abundance is overflowing to the point that it's multiplying, and you're able to share that. Now take it as you will. It can just be energetically. You just have an overabundance of energy that you're sharing. It could be an overabundance of material gains that you're sharing. It could be an overabundance of money. It could be an overabundance of love. It comes in all forms, okay? So also there's a balancing of a new position of authority. You're being given grace to adjust. It feels like a sense of, you might be, I wouldn't call it overwhelmed, but it's a change of pace. It's a change of flow. So it's like you're being given grace to adjust to the new position of authority, okay? I received a spirit word yesterday. The word was ambrosia. Ambrosia. It means the food of the gods. So again, a sign of abundance. It's just a lot of this is coming through, which is wonderful. I feel like we're in the harvest. We're receiving, either it could be your spiritual gifts. You're receiving an abundance of your spiritual gifts, an abundance of just God's grace upon you. Now let's address the reason I'm doing a reading for the karmics. There's a lot of things I want to address in regards to karmics. So one thing is, for some of you, you may on social media, you may have encountered trolls. You may have encountered individuals with fake accounts trying to stir the pot, so to speak, trying to get a rise out of you, trying to get some kind of interaction out of you. Now, there's nothing wrong with responding so long as your response is not out of your way, so long as the response is not in retaliation or a debate. So I feel like, just remember, it's not a debate. Whatever you post, it doesn't have to be debated. It doesn't have to be agreed with. No, I find it interesting how people will share a comment, will put a comment on a post, and it's almost like they want to debate what you're saying. And it's like, who invited you? You weren't invited to debate with me. You weren't invited to my platform because you feel like having a debate. Go have that debate on your own platform. Go look in the mirror and talk to yourself. Like when I comment on other people's posts, it's because I find it empowering, I find it funny, I find it humorous, it's enjoyable. I entertain what I agree with, I entertain what I enjoy, I entertain what uplifts me. I don't entertain anything else. If I see something I don't like, it may get a rise out of me. It may make me inclined to want to respond. But then I was like, you take a step back and you realize there is no point. There's no point in debating someone else's opinion. Who gives a shit about another person's opinion or what another person posts? I just end up unfollowing or deleting or just scrolling right by whatever is not in alignment with myself. So remember that before you get reeled into some kind of debate. You don't have to ignore it or act like it doesn't, because sometimes you want to express yourself. Sometimes you want to correct the misconception or at least clarify. So somebody might comment on the comment section and create this whole debate with themselves. And it's like, you missed the point, sir or ma'am. And you just want to clarify for the sake of giving them the benefit of the doubt. And because it doesn't take anything out of you to do so. So you do so. But anything further than that would be engaging in a debate where it's not like you were there for that. You know what I mean? So be very mindful of the people that are trying to reel you in to get a rise out of you, to get you to combat with them just because they're bored or just because it's their, that's how they gain energy. These are like energy vampires. That the only way that they can get anything out of you is by taking your time to focus on them somehow, which is ridiculous because nobody that is behind your screen that isn't even involved in your life is worth that. Unless they're like a kindred soul, unless they're in alignment with what you got going on. And therefore you can engage in those positive, uplifting commentaries or whatever. It's always up to you. And hey, if you're in the mood to let out some steam, by all means, there's plenty of trolls that you can have at it, and go go ballistic on them if that's your way. I'm very fire. I have a fire trine, so I can rise to that occasion and just, to blow off some steam if I really wanted to. But I find that blowing off steam in that way isn't fulfilling. It doesn't engage me. So keep that in mind. Karmics, these trolls, I find that some of these trolls are paid to attack your channel, especially the spiritual community. You have individuals that are paid to try to get you to respond in ways that they understand. For example, they might know your MBTI, your astrological alignments. These are false practitioners, or these are, let's say, secret societies that, for whatever reason or another, they're trying to create a narrative. They're trying to create a narrative over the spiritual community so that we can be directed in the way that they want us to be directed. And so knowing what they know of you, they like to manipulate that. And that also goes towards practitioners, fake accounts. Like they try to lock you into a certain square, so to speak, or a certain circle, I guess. you'll have one person on one side trying to praise you or trying to make it seem like an opportunity is coming. They try to raise your energy so that you can get excited. Then you'll have another one trying to give you spiritual guidance. And it's like, they need to stop. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing for them because you see right through it. This is also, notice, like, I use my tarot of the Orishas, okay? My Orisha cards, they, just because I like to use them, just because it's like you can partake in certain religious practices or religious beliefs, so to speak, because it resonates maybe from your ancestral line. But it doesn't necessarily mean you practice the same practices if you're not religious. If you're applying your spirituality based on your knowledge of multiple religions, it's not, for example, the Yoruba tribe religion uses the Orishas, right? Or works with the Orishas, I should say. That doesn't mean that I get a practitioner, friend requests me, and all you see on their page is sacrificing animals and hexing this and hexing that. That's not what I practice. So it's like they want to link with you like, hey, we're the same. No, we're not the same. Okay? I don't believe in dark magic. I don't believe in even spell work of that effect, of that type. It's just a matter of misassociation or something to that effect. So anyway, another message was not to over-explain to those who take offense to your ways, okay? Some people take offense. Be mindful of those people that you're associating with, that your ways offend them. That, let's say you could be joking with them and all of a sudden they think you're being mean to them. Let's say one minute you're joking and laughing together and then the next minute they get mad because you said no to something. Don't get reeled into the debates of justifying yourself, your ways. If a person chooses to not understand you, or they don't take the time to know your ways, to know when you're joking, or to know that you're not, even if they don't know you that well and you explain, I wasn't offending you, I was joking with you, but they insist on believing that you were being cruel, or they insist believing that you were being mean, or whatever the case might be, don't take too much time in explaining to a person like that, because you're not going to change their mind by trying to convince them otherwise. Let them believe what they want, and now use that knowledge, that information, to no longer engage on that level with them, or possibly even separate from that type of individual. Because from my experience, when a person makes up their mind about who they believe you are, versus taking into account your own explanation, or they accuse you of something and you give them your explanation. If they can't take that basic explanation and move on, they want to stay stuck in that belief, this person already wants to be in conflict with you. They want to see you as an opposition, or they want to see you as the enemy. So don't take up too much of your time trying to balance that out for anyone, especially Libras. I have a Libra rising, so it's always been a struggle for me, always trying to keep the balance and no, that's not what I meant, and this is what I meant, and then realizing they're just in a bitter mood. It's like they fall, or they feel bad, so they want to bring you down with them, and you're always trying to uplift. And it's not even your position to have to do that. So that could apply to anyone, but especially Libras. Another thing I'm noticing is karmics can no longer come into your energy. it's becoming very difficult for them to affect you. It's becoming very difficult for them to even be in your energy. And by virtue of your spirit guides are keeping them at bay, keeping them, they're blocking them for you. But also, it's the energetic field that you're in does not allow these darker, fake energies. And by darker, what I'm referring to is people that have ill intention towards you. Because I understand there is always a balance between light and dark. We all have light and dark. Okay? When you're whole, when you're healed, you embrace your darkness. You understand the darkness of others. We're not referring to that. We're referring to ill intention towards you. An enemy, okay? A hidden enemy. And these hidden enemies, there's certain karmics that sided with people that made an enemy of you. For example, you could have had a relationship with someone. This could be family, friendship, lover, whatever. Okay, any dynamic. And that person was influenced by another to side with them against you. They were fine with you until that person's influence came along and started, talking in their ear about you or competing with you. And then this person that you were in a dynamic with kind of sided with them, technically against their will, but ultimately it was their own will, okay? Weak will, but it was their will. And they sided with this person that went against you. And they wanted that karmic person, wanted the person that you were relating to see you as evil, bad, wrong, karmic, dark, dingy, whatever, okay? They wanted to be praised and they wanted you to be, because the person you were in a dynamic with was probably praising you, was probably talking highly of you, probably had really good things to say about you, had a really loving, good connection to you. That person was jealous, and that person started talking in their ears, started getting in their head, somehow, some way, twisting and turning situation to get them against you. So even if it wasn't a fallout or a conflict, they did, and they separated it from you, okay? It could have just been gossiping about you, whatever the case might be. But that person that you were in a relationship with saw their true colors. And now that they see their true colors because that person is doing to them what they were doing to you with them, they got others now to go against the person you were in a relationship. Now that they're going through it, they're now looking to align with you again because they're realizing, damn, this person had my back. This person was really down for me. This person has always given me upliftment or made me feel good or made me, was supporting me, was loving, and whatever the case might be, whatever the dynamic was. But guess what? The guilt that they're carrying about how they did you wrong doesn't even allow them to celebrate with you. It doesn't allow them to just come to you, because you might be open to engaging with them if they come around. But their own guilty conscience doesn't allow them until they can rectify or clarify or fix that honestly with you. Be honest about who they've been to you. It's like they're too ashamed to even acknowledge that they did you dirty because they were confused or they were manipulated. So until they can acknowledge that, until they can say, hey, you know what? I want to apologize that I turned my back on you, or that I stopped talking to you, or that I stopped entertaining our relationship in some way, some form, and tell you that they did so based on this person, was an influence on me, and they were kind of making me believe or see or think that you are XYZ. Whatever that is, until they can clear that with you honestly, they'll never really have a real foundation to begin their connection with you again. So because they don't have the courage to do that, they don't have the spiritual strength to do that, or the wisdom to do that, whatever it might be, because they can't come around you. They don't feel comfortable coming around you. It's like spiritually they're being blocked. They block themselves, ultimately. So they're going through it. they're going through a lot, and what they're going through at this time would be they would have benefited from your support, benefited from your counsel, benefited from your insight, benefited just from the energy you bring to the table. Okay, the support, the upliftment, the positivity, the whatever that is that you've provided for that person. They would have benefited from that, and they know it. But now that they want that juice, so to speak, from you, they know they don't feel right getting it from you, because they know what they did behind the scenes. They know that you're aware. They can feel that. They can feel it because energetically they feel the block. So that's that. So another thing is Neptune direct. It's really causing a reality check. Not being lost in emotional, in emotions or in illusions. And there were some karmics that were trying to keep you stuck using Neptune energy by keeping you emotionally invested or lost in daydream, lost in fantasy, lost in this kind of energy. Now, keep in mind something important that I want to say about this. The whole concept of hexes and curses and spells and whatnot, do they happen? Yes. How do they happen? The effects of the planets are going to affect us all, right? We all have, all the planets, everybody has an astrological chart, and the planets rotate for everyone in the same way, different houses, different placements, different dynamics. However, the influence of these planets can manifest in certain dynamics playing out, certain patterns playing out. So what happens is, for example, like in my case, I have Pluto in my 12th house opposite my sun. So that dynamic played out a certain pattern that I wasn't aware of initially, right? As a young child or whatever. But, you know, those patterns determine your beliefs. And it's like, oh, I always have this happen. Oh, this is my experience. My experience has always, quote unquote, been this, and that. When you start to wake up and realize, oh, it's a pattern. Oh, it's a dynamic between this, and it's playing out in the physical with, you know, same, this is when they say like, same dynamic, different person. So you can be in a relationship with one person and have a certain dynamic, and you didn't really learn the pattern. You go to the next person, same dynamic, same situation occurs, and then you start to think, oh, this always happens to me, or oh, people are always like this, or whatever the case might be that you might think. Until you realize this is a pattern, that this is how this alignment affects you personally, until you can break out of that and see it for what it is, that's when that pattern no longer has that effect on you. That's why astrology is so powerful. So when you awaken to certain patterns, you're now going into a new pattern, or when you don't respond to the old ways, you start creating a new way to interact with that dynamic. So the problem is, you'll have people that practice, dark magic. They practice dark arts. In other words, they understand intellectually these concepts, and they assume that they're going to prey on those that they believe are not aware of these patterns playing out in their own lives. Because they can look at your chart, or because they can look at your energy, or because they can look at your characteristics or your dynamics, they'll understand how you align to certain energies and use that to manipulate you, to make you believe, oh, you're being cursed. Oh, and you'll start to believe it. You'll be like, oh my God, this person is cursing me because they're trying to keep me stuck in this pattern. It's not the person. It's never the people that you're engaging with. The people are vessels being used by these energies, and the energies are being manipulated by organizations and secret covens, cults, whatever they are, because that's what they use to be in power, okay? So don't fall for it. Basically, pay attention. They want, it's like, oh, right before while Neptune is in retrograde and it's affecting this person in this house or in this space or in this type of dynamic, let's milk it. Let's put in as much energy as we can to get them to believe that illusion so they could stay stuck in a cycle. The point of astrology is to learn the patterns so you can step out of it and be the observer of it. So you're not being played by the energies. It's like, take control of the energies. Don't let the energies control you. Some would say that it's fated for you to, just play out your part. I believe that what truly being empowered or awakened or in your alignment is understanding that what can play out negatively in your life, and then responding, being aware of the energies so that you're not put into those positions. I'll give you one more example, okay? So I know that I'm being gang stalked by whatever coven group or specific practitioners to harvest my fire energy. I'm well aware of that. And I can almost say with certainty that I know exactly who it is. And it's not in my head. It's not, oh, I believe this because I want to. No. They're literally texting. For example, they're pretending to, like, I got a text yesterday about, you parked so close, you left such a small gap where you parked that I'm afraid I may hit your car because I don't have the, I forgot how they said it. It was something like, I don't have the, because of my skills aren't, completely, I don't have the skills or something weird like that. Now what's interesting is the concept of crashing my car. That's what they were trying to hone in. That's what they were trying to get. That's the seed they were planting, that they were thinking that they were planting in my subconscious. Car crash. And why do I know this? Because it's a pattern that's been around for the last at least 4 years that I've been conscious of it. Now, what do I also know? As in Aries are known to be fast and to, ram into walls, right? So technically the vehicle crash is part of the dynamic of an Aries, because we can go so fast and not pay attention. Now, how do I know that? Because it was part of my experience growing up. There is a certain pattern of planetary alignments or whatever, a pattern that plays out in my personal life experience where I did manifest car accidents. Okay? But before understanding astrology, I thought, I'm so unlucky. I have so much, karma. Oh no, what is, you know what I mean? But it's that I wasn't understanding certain alignments. I wasn't understanding certain dynamics, certain patterns of behavior. Yeah, I was reckless. I was speeding. I would drive fast. I would not be very cautious of the dangers that surrounded me sometimes. So those things would happen to me at a young age. But I learned as soon as I became a parent, I was like, oh no, I need to not do that. I need to be more cautious. I need to be more careful about my surroundings because I'm not just driving me anymore. I'm driving with my child or my children. And so becoming more cautious, slowing down, being able to look at my surroundings, not just my own driving, being more cautious with my driving, but also know, because when you're careless, reckless, young, and you're speeding, you can't see everything happening around you. So these practitioners or these individuals that understand those dynamics in my personal life, based on MBTI, based on my astrology chart. That's why you know it's hidden enemies. People that, when you're naive to people's intentions, you give out so much information about yourself unknowingly. You give out. I didn't think twice when somebody was like, "Oh, let me see your chart." Sure, here you go. Oh, where's your rising? Here. Oh, where do you have this planet? Oh, there. And you don't realize, you think you're just having a friendly conversation. But what they're doing is analyzing what you got going on so that they can manipulate it to make you to keep you in those cycles. Why? To play games, to be funny, to, I don't know, to harvest, whatever the case might be. They're doing it for their own pleasure. They're doing it for their own gains. And it's not serving you, because initially, like I said, four years ago or so, when I started to really awaken to notice the Neptunian illusion veil, because it's like you doubt it when you feel it, but you can't prove it. It's like, I feel this vibe, but it's not in the physical. When you start to see it and be like, wait a second, I don't just feel it, I also see it. I see through the illusion. I see through the manipulation. I can see the seed you're trying to plant in my subconscious. I remember 4 years ago, they tried that whole thing. They play these games, whether it's through online, they'll send you messages to play with your subconscious, or like I said, on my own phone. Why? Because I publicly posted my phone number when I was doing readings online. So it could be any random person, you know what I mean? However, they're still to this day playing that game. They text you supposedly like it's a wrong number, right? Like because they're not calling me by name. Hey girl, it's me such and such. No, they're texting it so that I could assume that it was meant for someone else. They're putting it out there like a random conversation, like out of nowhere, this conversation. Oh, you parked so close to me, I almost hit you because I'm so inexperienced. LOL. Most people would be like, what? Who sent this? Who are you? Why are you sending me? I'm not wasting my time asking them. Who are you? Why are you sending this? Da 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 da. What do you mean? Who are you trying to reach? Why? Because I already know what it is. They're trying to plant the seed of crashing. They're trying to plant the seed. Now, this could be just two planets aligning. What two planets are aligning right now? The sun is aligning with, geez, I know this, but I don't. Now I got to look at it. The sun is conjunct a certain planet, and I don't remember which one right now. Let's find out. Just to make the point that I'm trying to make here, so it's understood from a different perspective. Positions, let's see. The sun is conjunct Mars. You see what I mean? The sun conjunct Mars. That's exactly what they were trying to do. Now, is there a good intention behind it? What would be the good intention? Is it so that I can go out now and create a narrative of the sun conjunct Mars? Hey guys, the sun is conjuncting Mars right now, so be very careful of conflict and, or I don't know. It's like, regardless of the intention, regardless of the manipulation, they're putting the idea. As a matter of fact, hold that thought. The sun represents your father, authority, aggression, and soul. Mars indicates our courage, willpower, quick action, fighting ability, aggression, and impulsive nature. So, when you think about it, it's like they're on the surface, it looks like, and the reason I know that there's a certain, it manifests, because it did, like I said, 4 years ago, they did that to me. They mentioned oh, something crashing, you know what I mean? Like, it was like just a subtle thing. And I ended up getting hit because at the time it infiltrated my subconscious. I focused on it and I manifested it. I have the power to manifest what I put into my subconscious. And it's like, are they trying to prove that I can manifest? Are they trying to get me to see that I can manifest? But why not get me to manifest positive effects? They were trying to get me to manifest a negative effect. So that's all, folks. I'll leave it like that for now, because just so you understand that the manipulation goes very deep. The intention, I take the direct approach. If I want to influence you, I'm going to let you know, hey, I want you to look at things like this because of this benefit. I'm not going to go the back door way and try to play these games with the uncertainty that you're going to receive it and manifest it in a completely different way. You know what I mean? Like, anything can go. Like, it's like they're taking a chance to maybe observe how you manifest. Like, are you going to let that seed germinate and affect you negatively, or are you going to let that seed germinate and affect you positively? I've taken everything that was thrown my way in a negative and I have made a positive out of it. And I'm telling you this, I'm sharing this with you so you understand that there's some real psychological manipulation going on online. Whether it's because think about it, the spiritual nature comes before the physical nature. If they can get you in the subconscious, they can create your physical. And if they can do that to affect you negatively, then they have an advantage over you. That's why I posted about Tucker Carlson on the Roseanne Barr podcast. He was talking about this is spiritual. This is a spiritual war, and we're aware of that. The spiritual community is aware of that. But I think the rest of the collective is realizing, those individuals that were just very mundane 3D world are starting to realize there has to be more than this 3D world. There's something deeper going on here than just what we see on the physical. You have to tap into what you feel. You have to tap into your intuition. You have to trust your internal guidance so that you're not manipulated on the physical to affect your psychology to the point that you're manifesting against your own will, things against your own will. Like, take time to understand yourself. Take time to know where you're headed, where your will wants to go, where you want to aim your will. And don't deviate from that. Don't allow the external world to influence your path. Your path is what you say it will be, and God will support that. Whatever higher power you believe in will always support what you truly, genuinely believe. So don't let your belief be affected by the external world. Okay. That's that for the... That's all for my channel messages. Let's start with this reading. This is a reading for the Karmics. What's going on? Now, like I said, I don't generally like to focus on the Karmics, but I was called to do so today, to do a reading on the Karmics. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Orisha Tarot cards. But before I do the reading, I want to select a theme from the book by selecting a page and reading off of it. So let's see what the general message is. Five of Fire. I don't know if you can catch that there. Five of Fire. The Five of Fire It says, a fire-breathing dragon is defeated, chased away, and kept at bay with lighted logs. Fire is fought with fire. This is what these 5 men think and do with faith and tenacity. The meaning upright is, use the same weapons as your opponents, or more powerful ones. Your cleverness and astuteness, the fire itself, should be part of a strategy to deliver an accurate blow and have an efficient defense. The struggle will be hard and tiresome. The beast will try to corrupt you. Do not allow yourself to be tempted. Otherwise, it will catch you. Fight fairly, and the victory will be yours. Upside down, it implies the dispute, struggle, battle, fight, quarrel, war, litigation, obstacles, danger, and or slander have come to an end. Renew your strength, and remember that fire purifies everything. This couldn't be a more relevant message for what we were just talking about. This is why I love Spirit. It always comes through very clearly. As we were just talking, you have to fight fire with fire. See it for what it is. You have to arm yourself with wisdom, knowledge, understanding of yourself, because no mother effer out there, because they know astrology, because they know spiritual, spells and whatever they do, they're not going to dictate who the hell you are. They want you to play out the role that they deem fit for you. You need to be who you are 100%. And the way that you are 100% will always be in alignment to the Most High. Will always allow you to work your way through the challenges of your life, the wheel of life, in the most abundant way, in the most positive way, in the most beneficial way for you and anyone around you. Something else about this message that I wanted to share. I was going to say something else and I lost track of it. Wait. Oh, the dragon. We are entering the year of the dragon for 2024, the Chinese year of the dragon. Dragon has been showing up a lot lately, okay? So be aware of that. I haven't really looked into the energies of the year of the dragon, but I can tell you it's a very powerful energy. Obviously, dragon represents power. Okay, let's move forward. So what do we want to know about the Karmics? What do we need to know about the Karmics? Why is Spirit needing us to take a message today about the Karmics? How are they affecting? Or what do we need to know about the Karmics? Let's just put it that way. What do we need to know about the Karmics? As a matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and we're going to just place them on the clue game board, like I do most of my readings. So let's do that instead. Instead of a random reading, we're going to go ahead and so at the core, we have 4 of water. This is home energy. This is Scorpio, Mars, Pluto is showing. So the 4 of water at the core, emotion, hostile, volatile emotions. This is chaos energy. Now, people will look at it like, oh, this is terrible, this is bad, this is wrong, dark, chaotic energy. No, the chaos energy is the subconscious realm, is the realm of the unknown. And it is where all things manifest out of. So this is the true home, although you see it's Scorpio, it's the deepest of the waters. Pluto is the transformative power of change. Transformative power. It's actions that transform us. It's movement from a space that is very deep in our subconscious. Okay? So, why is the Four of Water here? Let me clarify with my tarot cards. Sorry. I wasn't ready for that. Hold on. Why is the Four of Water here? We have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, this is, again, movement. This could be, like we discussed, you know, very fiery action. Fight fire with fire. You might be receiving, you might be getting like a charge of energy from your subconscious letting you know, protect and defend your beliefs. Protect and defend what you stand for. Okay? This could be a very instinctual need to protect your subconscious. All right. So in the first house we have the Sun. You're showing up. This is like your ascendant, your first house. This is you're happy. You're in a high vibration. You're empowered. You've embodied yourself, your own energy. You're self-sustaining. This is your will, okay? And in the first house, it's like you're shining your light. Let's clarify. Why is the Sun in the study? You might be asked to learn more about yourself, learn more about your sun sign. Oh, I saw a card flip. There it is. We have the Page of Cups in reverse. This is emotional immaturity, not taking an offer. I feel like you did away with immaturity of some level. I feel like you may have been gullible at some point or in some area of your life, had a certain sense of naivete. I feel like if you understand yourself better, or you have understood yourself, because this is also the study of the Sun, studying your own will. You overcame, you know, these energies like of, I want to say maybe passivity or getting hurt over everything also, because the Page of Cups is very sensitive, right? Very innocent, very naive, but it's almost like saying either you're no longer entertaining, or you may be affecting people that are in the Page of Cups in reverse. You're shining your light on the Page of Cups in reverse. This could be children, for example, that are very sensitive. You might be shining light on their sensitivities to help them empower those sensitivities, but it could also be adults that are in their feelings and take everything personally. You may no longer be taking things personally from that level of insecurity or from that level of, you know, innocence, of that level of childishness. It's like you can see through the illusion and you're no longer emotionally affected by it. So Let's see what's going on in the ballroom here. We have the Two of Fire. So the ballroom represents our emotional self, but then we have the Two of Fire. I feel like you're taking a chance, making a decision. I think you're seeing the bigger picture, because this is Sagittarius, Jupiter energy. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. You're standing... Oh, every time I see this card, I get the Lion's Gate. You're standing at the Lion's Gate, okay? And you have to make a choice. Are you going to choose to see the bigger picture of your emotions? Or are you going to stick with what you know? Are you going to take a chance on love? Are you going to take a chance on deeper... a more abundant love even? And I say love because our emotions, obviously we have a range of emotions, but in this case I am seeing it like in love. Let's see, let's clarify. Why is the Two of Fire here in the ballroom? Clarify the Two of Fire in the ballroom. You may have to make a decision when it comes to love, a decision when it comes to something you're passionate about. Oh, okay. You see that? The Queen of Cups and the Nine of Cups. This is, oh my goodness, we just said it, a bigger vision. Look at this. This is pure fulfillment, emotional fulfillment. The Queen of Cups is ultimately the embodiment of pure love, okay? She's very nurturing, very loving. And again, with Neptune going direct, we're not letting our like all that love and all that emotional fulfillment, we have to be mindful. Sometimes in our most positive and being in our light, being so bright, we can be blinded by it. I'll be honest. You can just be so loving. You'll oversee or overlook the enemy's agenda, because you're just in this love and light energy and happy. I want to share my energy because I'm in overabundance, and I want to give, and I want to love, and I want to share, and I want to protect and nurture everybody I love. That can be dangerous if the wrong people are around. People abuse that. They see your happiness, they want to take it away. They see your abundance, they want it, they want to covet it. So be very careful. You're going to have to make a choice about how you share this abundant love, how you share this abundance of love with others. Coffee break. Oh, yesterday I was having tea, and I had saved these to share with you. The little messages that come with the tea. It says, many paths lead to the same destination. It doesn't matter how you get there. The other one says, let your greatness show from your inner light. That's just a side note. All right, let's move on here. We got what's going on in the kitchen. We got the Six of Water. Oh, I don't think I'm allowed to show this. So just in case, we have a mermaid there. Very beautiful mermaid laying down, just lounging, enjoying. This is Cancer energy in the moon. So again, emotions, but you see it's darker. So your surroundings, despite it being perhaps dark, despite your surroundings might not be the brightest, you're still able to just enjoy the... Oh, am I still showing it? Sorry, I don't want to put it on camera just in case. Then they start saying stuff like inappropriate content on your platform. Let's see, the Six of Water. She's lounging, relaxing. It's almost like if you can't do it, if you can't do anything about it, relax, enjoy, be in peace, rest, find the calmness in the chaos. I mean, she's out of her element. She's out. She's on the land. She's not in the water. It's almost like even taking a break from diving deep. It's like taking a break from going deep into like dark energies, dark emotions. You might be doing some shadow work. You might have been doing a lot of shadow work, and you're kind of being asked to chill out, maybe lounge a little bit, take a break from that. I mean, I'm saying that, but yet here I am doing a reading of the Karmics. Oh, look at that, the Emperor. Yeah, I feel like you're totally in your power. I could put it like this. You're totally in your power, feeling like you've got control over your emotions in some manner, especially like control over your emotions when it comes to your environment. It's like it doesn't affect you despite its darkness. Like, this makes me feel, I have my moon in Capricorn in the 3rd house. So my emotions can go very deep in my surroundings. But for a long time, my environment affected me emotionally. For a long time, my environment took a toll on me. And by environment, I mean the people, the energy, just the energy even. The chaos and the movement and just the things that I had to do in my environment, like, you know, going from here to there, taking care of these people, doing that thing, work, you know, back and forth, whatever it is, your neighborhood, you know, like, I feel like that the chaos of your environment is no longer affecting your emotional state. You're able to rest in it and take control of your own energy and dominate it, which is amazing. Okay, now let's see what's going on. In the conservatory, interesting. The conservatory represents the 4th house, but also we have the 4 of Earth here. You see the goat on the rock? It's like you've reached the pinnacle of your success or the height of authority in the home, or you're at home with your own authority, because this is Saturn energies. This is Capricorn and Saturn energies. So I feel like you've bossed up in your home life. Again, we got the Emperor in your surroundings, and then we have the goat in the home. It's like, you know, you are in charge of your space. There is a sense of control in your environment. Now, it doesn't mean, you know, being some kind of tyrant even. It's like having a sense of control in the home. You have to be at peace at home if you expect to have any kind of success in the world. Any success in the external world requires you to have a solid, grounded space to kind of catapult off of. And another thing is, the energies for the last couple of years, not couple, let's say, this is like, it's making me think of the Pluto energies in Capricorn, okay? Since Pluto has been in Capricorn, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 2008. And it's about to go into Aquarius now. I feel like that entire time frame, I can tell you, my stability, my home life stability has been challenged since about that time. I had just got out of the military about a year prior. But as soon as I got out of the military, you walk out of there and pretty financially stable. At least I was financially stable. I had, my family in good standing. Everything was going great. I promise you, the market crashed in 2008, right? Everything changed. My marriage fell apart. My parents' marriage fell apart. We lost our home. My parents lost their home. I mean, everything fell apart. Everything that I was grounded on, everything that I stood on, everything that was my security blanket from my entire life up to that point completely crumbled. Loss of work because of the emotional imbalance. It was the most challenging of times. It was the scariest time as well. Imagine with 2 small children. My kids were at the time 1 and 3, very little. My ex-husband, everybody responds to stress differently. Everybody responds to financial stress differently. The threat of losing our home, being threatened that we were losing our home, the threat of not having the income, not losing the job, created a lot of conflict in the home. And instead of working together and instead of building, a stronger foundation at the home, of course, he steps out, becomes a cheater. And not becomes, because he was already one, but it really pushed the envelope for him to it was like a justification to abandon ship and try to seek solace outside of the home, and abandon me and my family, me and my children, and cause a lot of conflict in the home, or cause a lot of conflict with my family. I was already trying to deal with my own situation, trying to figure out ways to maintain our home, to keep my children comfortable, safe, not involved in my emotional turmoil, while trying to help my parents restore their relationship and keep them calm and keep them going, understanding we're going to get through this. The upheaval was beyond belief. But that was the worst of it in a certain kind of way, meaning that because it was the initial shock. Ooh, things just got extremely quiet on my right ear. That's usually when Spirit has a message for me. I just got this immense sense of gratitude. Immense sense of gratitude. I hope you can feel it. I'm sending that energy to you because it truly is. We have so much to be grateful for because we're no longer in that place. For any of you that have been through that struggle the last 15 years or so, right? It was difficult. It was very difficult that everything changed from that point on. But that was the harshest, the initial shock of everything being uprooted, being the world changed in 2008 for me. The entire world went from being a world of opportunity and optimism and goodwill. It fucking changed 100%. It got backwards. And from that point on, it was I felt like I had to, and I did. I struggled. I got back into a very good position at a job, working for the government again. And I reestablished myself. I completed my degree. I was able to reestablish my life as a single mother, which I never thought I would do. at the time, I thought marriage was forever. I thought, like I said, at the height of this shows, at the height of your, not just your career, just in life, like this was like the ultimate happiness, like of success, pinnacle of success. The white picket fence, the house, the beautiful car, the beautiful family, beautiful home, everything was quote unquote perfect in the physical world. But spiritually, there was an emptiness. Spiritually, there was something missing. I couldn't point it out at the time. But that's when I started my spiritual practices professionally, because I have been doing tarot for years before that, studying astrology years before that. But life took precedent, like physical reality, the job on the outside world, the friends in the outside world, the mundane day-to-day life of the physical reality was what was on the forefront. My spiritual practice was a hobby that I did when I had time, a hobby that I did for fun only when everything else was taken care of. It wasn't what it is now, where my spiritual nature is the priority. Because from that foundation of my spiritual, like I am here now, at home, okay, at home, the goat at home, but not only that, the emperor taking control of my emotions in the environment, being at home despite the disruptions of the environment, being at home and being in charge of my environment, taking charge of what goes on in my home. From an internal nature, from a spiritual nature, is like, no, boundaries. This is how it's going to be. That's not what we're doing. Chaos will not be in my home, because you can't function in the physical world with chaos in the home. And for me, that's what disrupted life. Life was very difficult to do while there was so much turmoil and chaos in the home. And so when I was able to reestablish myself and prioritize my spiritual natures, my spirituality, my need for peace, my need for silence, my need for retreat from the physical responsibilities, despite not having the support on the physical realm, despite not having a masculine figure at the time protecting and providing, so that I can tap into the spirit, so that I can manifest the abundance that I was already doing. It's easy for a man to be supportive when everything is going great. And I say a man because I'm referring to this situation in particular. But anyone, it's easy for individuals to support you as long as things are going great, as long as you're succeeding, as long as life looks successful. I was in the military. I was doing well, very well, making good money. I had a great network of friends. I had a lot of travel that I was doing. There was a lot of success of the physical world. So as long as that was there, oh, yeah, my partner was totally on board with supporting me. But as soon as we get out of the military, as soon as things get a little bit challenging, as soon as keeping up what we've built became hard and difficult, it was easy for him to bail. It was easy for him to make excuses and then to abandon ship and leave me to take care of the nurturing of the family, the responsibility of the finances, the responsibility of the just doing life. And I did, and I succeeded, and I'm grateful. So the gratitude that this fucked up ass situation, okay, since Pluto entered Capricorn, challenging every structure, destroying every structure that was built up to that point, to have to rebuild up to recently, because here we are now, finally, at the pinnacle of true success, is being able to be stable in your own home, stable in your own heart, in your own spirit, stable with yourself. That my friends, is true success. Because from there, anything is possible. Anything at all is possible. So, Lorte, that was a rant. My apologies for those of you who don't like it. But to those of you who understand the struggle was real. Oh, the struggle was real. But, like I said, this is a reading, a karmic reading. I have to bring up the shadows. I have to bring up all these karmic experiences. And we say karmic usually to refer to the negative side of what we're manifested, of what our actions manifested. In other words, my external success was, I would call it random chance of luck, or just maybe my destiny, or maybe, where it was easy to attain that success for me. I took steps, I acted on certain past patterns, and whatever it was, I gained a level of success in the physical world. And I was very pleased and very content, and everyone around me was happy and loved everything I had and did, and how generous I shared that abundance. The moment it all went away, the moment the struggle was real, I lost friends, challenges in personal relationships, depression, isolation. No one was there on a spiritual level to really help. That's what led me to really tune into spirituality. That's when I really started turning to my tarot cards. It's what gave me peace. It's what gave me clarity. It's what helped me restore myself, put all the pieces back together. So I'm not advocating for anyone to do this, but hey, it worked for me. So moving forward, why is the Four of Earth at the conservatory? Oh my, oh my, oh my. We're going to just take that, whatever came through. Yeah, you stood your ground. You looked at things practically, logically, with a just authority. The Three of Cups is celebration. So I feel like there's a balance between, you found a balance of integrity in your associations perhaps, or you found the positive in, you were able to cut away false friends, false associations, see through the illusion even of third-party situations, or see even through the illusions of superficiality. You know how I understand this is, a card of celebration, and it's a very positive omen. But, sometimes you can be in this energy, you think you're amongst your friends and you're all laughing and enjoying, having drinks, dining, fine dining, and enjoying celebrations. But when you saw through the illusions of fake friends, false friends, people that only celebrated you or celebrated with you when you were succeeding, that's when you were able to stay true to your values and keep a steady, balanced, your sense of truth and justice brought balance into your home, brought balance to your sense of self. All right, so moving forward, what's going on in the dining room? Okay, so we have the Eight of Earth. This is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn energy, very earth energy, a lot of work. Okay, you've put in a lot of work to mitigating disruptions and changes. You've been able to work through the changes you've gone through. You've been able to put in the due diligence to your creativity, the things you love, focusing, put in a lot of work to manifest what you truly love. Let's clarify the Eight of Earth. we have the sun. And it is in reverse, but even in reverse, the sun is powerful. I just look at it like, instead of like your energy being projected outward, kind of like how it is here in the first house, when you're doing, it's like you're doing work that is fulfilling within, that makes you happy within. That is truly a labor of love, I feel also. You're manifesting true internal power, true internal strength and joy. It's the joy that comes from your inner child, the joy that comes from within. Your light emanates from within. Okay, that's the source of your power. It's an internal power, and then it emanates outwardly through the first house. But in your heart, that's where you truly stand. You truly are a beacon of light. You truly operate from this innocence of joy, of childlike joy, okay? And the work that you do, the efforts that you have made, have come from that space. So this, like I said, despite the disruptions, you've stayed consistent. You've stayed true to your values. You've stayed consistent. You've applied day to day, day in and day out. You've put in the effort and energy to manifest and have this energy here, the Four of Pentacles, that stability, that sense of power and sense of control of the Emperor, being the authority of your own creation. And we know that you co-create with God, you co-create with Spirit, with Source, however you want to call it. It is a co-creative process. You're not God, you are an expression of God. We all are. So when you tap into that source from within, you're able to produce a labor of love. So what's going on in the billiard room? We have the Eight of Water, Scorpio, Mars, and Pluto, which in this card here, the Four of Water, we have Scorpio. It's like water, right? It's all the water signs. But here it's, Mars is the ruler and Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. So these are the rulers of Scorpio. Here we have the Eight of Water in the billiard room, balancing these darker emotions. The Eight of Cups, Eight of Water in this case, it's like moving away, and you can see that these energies still try to hold on to you, are trying to latch on to you, and you're like, nope, you're forging or moving forward away from anything that is trying to hinder you, especially on an emotional level, trying to keep you down, trying to keep you in darkness, trying to keep you trying to affect your emotions, trying to get you to get bitter emotionally, or to be bitter and negative emotionally. You can't really manifest. It's like, I understand some people can manifest from their dark feelings. That anger that comes from the realization that you've been duped, screwed over, somebody did you dirty, and it's like you wake up to that. That anger is a fuel. It's power. And that power can propel you forward to walk away from what doesn't serve you, from those 8 cups that are empty, from those cups that, it's like, what was the point of engaging and giving to these cups and sharing energy with these cups if they're empty? They're empty. There's no one there to share that with. So it's like being able to do away with, it's like allowing that dark energy, allowing that power to rise in you, to propel you forward into a positive space. So you can take that darkness and move forward. You can take that dark emotion and power through. And despite the octopus trying to hold you down and try to attach itself to you, you're able to propel forward in balance, because the billiard room is also numerology is a 6, which is balance. Also the 6th house. So in your routine, you're able to go, it's almost like in your routine, you might have people latch onto you, or you know, throw their problems onto you, or you could be surrounded by people in your drama, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect you anymore. You just move forward. You just keep going. You keep going. It's like, fuck it. It's like you have this thing latching onto your leg as you move, as you're walking forward. Imagine having a baby having a tantrum, holding onto your leg, and you just have to go. It's like, I gotta go. My kids used to do this when I would leave them at daycare sometimes, or at school when they were very little. And every day I had to leave because I was like, I gotta go to work, I gotta go. And they're like holding onto my leg. And the teacher's like, come on, baby, it's okay. Let's go play over here, you know, trying to distract them. Oh my God, it was one of the most challenging, most difficult times of my life, because it's heartbreaking. Sometimes you don't want to leave your child at school crying. So I would end up going late to work because I would sit there until they were calm, until they were comfortable. And then I would leave them playing with their friends. And, you know, when they were already, you know, comfortable in the setting, I would be able to, all right, bye, and leave knowing that they were okay. To the detriment of getting in trouble at work. Why are you late again? Well, I couldn't leave my kid, you know, at school or daycare crying. They were really upset. And I had to, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? It was one of those things that I had to do what I had to do at the time. Now, luckily, my youngest, I never had to go through that with him because I was able to take care of him at home. He didn't have to go to daycare. And by the time he went to kindergarten, he was already very ready to be in school. He felt like, you know, I can get out from under my mom and go explore the world. He felt confident and safe and excited. Whereas my little one, my eldest children, when they were little, they didn't have that luxury. They didn't have the luxury to get comfortable enough where they wanted to go. It's like they were thrown into that world and separated from me before they were prepared for it. And I resent that. I resent it in a sense that I wish that things could have been different for them. I wish that my life didn't turn that situation that I discussed here, you know, being abandoned to do everything alone felt, you know, it didn't just affect me. What affected me more was how it was affecting my children. The lack of support affected them. It gave them a foundation that was faulty. It gave them a foundation that wasn't sturdy, insecure. It's a lot of things. And that's what the karmics are dealing with now, is facing that they abandoned a real one. They abandoned the ones that they were supposed to support in order to go support a ratchet ass type that doesn't give 3 shits about their family, their children, their friends. They just want to party, have a good old time. It was a good old time for a long time, but that time has come. Now they need to reap what they sowed all those years ago, whether they like it or not. Clarify the 8 of water, please, in the billiard room. Ooh, yep. You put a death to that behavior, that energy. You're not letting anything hold you back emotionally anymore. You're balanced. You can't be taken out of your emotional balance. They could throw what they want your way. They can do what they want to try to affect you emotionally to get you off balance. It's not working. You put an end to that. You completely ended it. So what's with the library? how did I get this like this, right? Okay. So we got the 10 of air in reverse. Again, the 10 of air is, look at that. It's Uranus energies. But it's having like a completion of overwhelming energy, like mental. I feel like you have learned a spiritual lesson about your mental health, your mental well-being, balancing out emotionally helped you no longer take, how do I put it? It's almost like one affects the other, right? So it's like if you were emotionally overwhelmed or overburdened or over stimulated in a negative way, it could have affected your mental health. And that was one of the lessons you had to learn spiritually, was understanding how your emotions play a part in your mental health. You trusted your intuition with the Two of Swords. You listened to spirit. You opened up to love. You were able to put an end to... see, look, with this card here, the Six of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like you put an end to the mental games, mind games. That was one of the lessons you had to learn, because you had an individual that was breadcrumbing you, that was giving you the bare minimum. This, again, could be an ex-spouse, could be the karmic, but it could also be those that you expected to support you were giving you the bare minimum of assistance, of help. They weren't sharing their resources with you. They were leaving you in an imbalance financially by trying to drain you emotionally, causing you to be mentally overburdened, overwhelmed, and you had to take time out. Time out to shut out the fucking world outside of you. Excuse my language, but it just comes out the way it does sometimes. My apologies if it offends you. Yeah, you had to protect your heart and shut and close your eyes to the physical world and tune into your emotions and just listen to your emotions so that you can receive the message the Spirit was bringing you. And I know the Knight of Cups represents, romance and young love and innocent love, but it's still love nonetheless. It's not losing your ability to love because of the mind games people try to play with you. It's being able to still give love despite people not giving love to you back. And it's not that you're going out and saying, oh, you withheld love from me. Here, let me continue to give you love. No. It's, I still have the ability to love those that love me. I still have the ability to give love because I'm not bitter because you played mind games with me. I'm not bitter because you breadcrumbed me. You didn't have the power to control me mentally. You didn't have the power to control me by withholding finances from me. You didn't have the power to affect my stability by keeping me in bare minimum energy. For some of you, you have people that purposely withheld assisting you because they know that if you were given the assistance, that if you had their support, you'd be so successful, so well off, with even the smallest, even with the bare minimum, you've succeeded. Imagine what you could have done if people actually supported you the way that you deserve to be supported, the way that you supported them. For many of you, you supported people. You gave your all to people that gave you nothing. And you didn't do it because you were expecting anything. You did it because it was your nature. You did it because you wanted to. You did it because you thought it was mutual. And you gave the best of you to people that never even deserved it. But it's okay because you took your power back. You shut it out. You let go. You trusted your intuition, and now you're able to move forward. For some of you, this could even be a love offer that's coming to you because you learned the lesson, because this is 7. This is a house of partnerships. Okay? Now that you're no longer in your head in conflict, you trust your intuition, you don't accept anything of this nature, this breadcrumbing, the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Somebody wants to come to you and try to make you work for it. It's like, here, I'll give you a little bit of this, a little bit of love, or a job that says, oh, we're going to pay you this much. It's like, you can't pay me enough for the stress that you want to burden me with, the pressures you want to put on my back. I worked for USCIS, Immigration Services, as an officer. Adjustments for people that were trying to seek to become citizens, right? And I had to approve or deny these applicants. But I had to the amount of cases I had to work through on a daily, the amount of pressure that I had, okay, doing this as well while I was pregnant, okay, and having severe sciatica issues, and having supervisors that had no consideration whatsoever for home life. The workplace has no consideration for single parents, for family life. As long as you're producing what they need and meeting their numbers, that's all they care about. And I had to make a decision and decide, I'm not going to stay here. I can't stay here. It's not that I couldn't do the job, it's that I no longer was willing to work and even there, it was a considerable, I guess you can consider that the pay was good according to standards. That was considered a good pay. But after all the taxes that they took away and after everything, I barely had enough to, considering how much daycare costs and all of these things, there was so much responsibility and so many, and it's not like I was one of these people that had credit cards all over the place that I had to pay. I didn't have debts like that. I'm very minimalist in that way. Like, I don't want responsibilities like that. It's like, if I can afford it, I buy it. And if I can't, I'm not going to put myself in that burden of having a debt on my back. But this was for basic needs: rent, utilities, food, and basics for my children, like their daycare or their extracurricular activities. To do this by myself on my own for multiple children, and sometimes even help take care of children of friends and family. I always found time to give to others. I feel like a lot of you were put in really bad situations, in situations like your relationships. People were putting a lot of burdens on you because you could handle it. Whether it's the job, the family, the friends, the partnerships, they were putting a lot of burden on you, pressures on you, because you could do it. And as long as you did it, nobody cared how it was affecting you, how it was taking a toll on you, how it imprinted on you a certain mental burden. But anyways, Spirit is blessing you with new love, okay? With a new love offer, because you overcame and trusted your intuition despite all the mind games and despite the minimal efforts that you were given to support you in your spiritual journey. Moving on. What's going on in the hall? Ooh, the guardian angel. This is perfect. The hall represents the 8th house. To me, this house is like between the realms of spirit and physical world, okay? This is also other people's resources. I feel like there's a guardian angel protecting your resources, protecting your energy. You're also being guided by spirit, and the veil is very thin. In other words, you're very much receiving the angelic messages that Spirit is bringing to you, okay? You're completely in touch with Spirit. Let's clarify the guardian angel. Opportunities. I feel like Spirit is giving you messages in regards to new opportunities that are coming. You're able to see ahead because Spirit is providing you insight. You're able to see far into the horizon, so to speak. It's like you're no longer, like I said, when you're no longer caught in this mind game and whatever it is that people were trying to do, keep you overwhelmed emotionally and whatnot. It's like being present, you're able to now see ahead. You can see far ahead because you're not caught up in what was, the past, ruminating over past issues, and you're not in the present moment battling situations that are meant to keep you distracted from seeing ahead. So Spirit is very much giving you messages. This is also hidden messages. In other words, it can come through a multitude of things, like animal totem. The other day I did a reading and I talked about a moth that was in my vehicle. Okay, that was 2 days ago. I swore that moth was out of my car. Yesterday, I'm in the car picking up my son at the bus stop, and I was dropping off a neighbor with her kids, and they were in the back seat, and one of her daughters says, there's a bug in the car. And we're like, what? And it was the moth was on the window of the back seat. And I'm like, oh my God, I could have sworn that moth was gone. But 2 days in a row to see the moth was very symbolic. Very, very interesting to have seen that. As a matter of fact, real quick, let me see if I find it here so I could read it again. Because I feel like it's very relevant at this time. I think the reading is called Like a Moth to a Flame. Here it is. It says, the rainbow of light and positive energy expands my consciousness. My dreams are emerging to guide me on my path. I pay attention to my dreams and easily interpret them. I am aligned with the movement of the moon. Dreams provide tools for self-knowledge and help bring mental clarity. As I was saying, hidden messages are coming through deeply through your dreams, okay? Spirit is communicating with you very clearly at this time. So pay attention to, like earlier, you see how I was like, oh, it got very silent on my right ear. It's almost like the way that your ears pick up on the environment, right? Is like a certain tune or tone. And then all of a sudden you get this, like, it feels like a shield, like if somebody's cupping your ear. And that feeling to me has always been receiving like a message from Spirit. So please acknowledge that. Be grateful to Spirit, to the angels that are guiding you at this time. A lot of gratitude for Spirit, because you can, if you're tuned in, you can very much feel their presence at this time. Whew. All right, what's going on here in the lounge? We have the Two of Earth in reverse. The Two of Earth, it's like juggling, okay? It's Saturn energy. But I feel like you've completed a cycle of hardship, of having to balance. Like the struggle is real, taking these two coins and trying to make something out of nothing. That energy is done. It's like you're so abundant, or you're about to be extremely abundant, where you don't have to juggle just to make ends meet, or just to we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. This is like, let's clarify. I want to clarify the Ace of Swords. Why is it in reverse? The Empress. So let's see. You've ended a cycle of delusion and lies, of, because this is mental clarity, and in reverse, it's confusion. So the chaos and confusion of having to juggle, ending that juggling of your finances perhaps, or trying to balance your physical reality and your spiritual reality, it's like, oh my God, it feels like survival mode in some ways. I feel like that's ended, and the reason it's ended is because you're standing in the Empress. I believe the last reading I did also, the one like a moth to a flame, and then in the 9th house energy, the Empress came out also. Interesting. It's like, I feel like you've completed the initiation to be this Empress. Wow. The initiation to become the Empress you are now. That whole trajectory, that whole experience. Think about it. When I talked about Pluto and Capricorn, this is like a foundation, right? Being dismantled, disrupted. You had to go through all of this, and it's like you had to tune into this Emperor energy, take control, right, of your emotions in order to reach and the culmination of success to become this Empress. If you reverse this and go back to when that cycle first began, that I said everything was, at the height, let's say at the 10th house, your status was, successful marriage, family, career, everything. True pinnacle of success in the physical reality. But this was in a partnership, this was with support, this was everything on the physical. It just felt like, okay, this is what success looks like on the outside. And then everything was taken away. And then you had to go through all this struggle, all this challenge, all this karmic energies to learn the lesson of the mind games that were being played throughout that time, all the things that were affecting you emotionally, that were taking your emotional stability away, that were affecting you mentally, that were affecting your finances, that were affecting your emotional, that were just affecting your stability spiritually speaking. The lack of support that didn't allow for you to be in your feminine energy, forcing you to have to abandon almost like it was trying to force you out of your feminine energy, putting you in a masculine energy for survival. How could you raise, healthy children, well and secure children, when you have to go and be this masculine energy? I got to go work, so I can't nurture my children right now. They're crying because they don't want to be in daycare. They are crying because they don't want to be in preschool. But they have to be in preschool so that I can go get that job, so that I can go make that money to support the household they live in, because I'm not supported at home. So I had to take on the role of this emperor in my life. But more than anything, despite the distractions, despite every challenge that came through, it was a test to see, can you remain in this Empress energy? Divine Feminine, you were put through the fucking, what's the word? How do they say? Put through the washer, the washing machine, whatever the case is, however you want to call it. It's like the universe really put you through it. And like I said, having Capricorn in my 3rd and 4th house, it was my environment in my home that was being disrupted, right? Affecting my 10th house energies, not allowing me to be in that Cancerian energies, to be the nurturing mother that I want to be, and raise my family at home and take care of my children and raise healthy, happy children. Not to say that I didn't do that, but the struggle to be able to do both okay? To have to be this boss masculine at home, have to put boundaries when it comes to my emotional stability. No, I cannot allow this emotional drama to affect me in the home, because then I can't do my work out there. And if I can't do my work out there, I can't support our home in here. That back and forth, all of that was to prove to yourself, if anything, that you are this empress. You stayed true to yourself. You maintained the integrity of this divine feminine, of this empress energy, despite having to walk the shoes or walk the path of this emperor. It's not easy. I mean, who can call you an empress if it's like, let's say that these karmics were challenging, how can you be an empress? It's easy to be an empress as long as you have an emperor taking care of you. It's easy to be empress if you don't have to struggle, and if you don't have, like, when everything comes easy to you. Because that's probably what they thought. Oh, everything came so easy to you. You had, it's easy to be successful when you have a partner to support you. It's easy to be successful when you have the perfect job. It's easy to be successful when you have money. It's easy to be successful when you have a supportive family. Oh, really? You think that's why I got all that? And then for whatever reason, Spirit says, let's take that all away and let's see who the real empress is, just to show these karmic mother effers who you really are. And sure enough, put you through every challenge that you can think of. Remove the supporting spouse. Remove the finances. Remove the perfect job. Remove the family support. Remove the stable home. Remove it all. And on top of that, add every challenge. Add every emotional challenge you can think of. Add every mental burden you can think of. Create every problem possible. Only to prove what? That you still are the empress, bitch. So take that as you will. Much love to you, divine feminine, divine masculine. And to the karmics, I hope you enjoyed. Take care.